He needs some money. 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 He needs some money.
NAMM, the best thing that I can describe as far as my first NAMM experience is this. Christopher was right. He said that you're gonna get there and you're gonna feel a little overwhelmed because it's gonna be a lot of information. Just do the best you can. He said when you walk in, you're gonna kind of, and I kept trying to imagine in my head what that was gonna be like based on conferences I have been to before.
I think I'm overwhelmed. Once I sit and look at this map, I'm a little overwhelmed. Okay.
And he was right. When we walked in there, we were just like, oh my God. I was like, it's further down here.
Cool. Oh my God. This is like overload. This is crazy. This is crazy.
But it was awesome. It was awesome being around so many creative people. I enjoyed just people watching it sometimes as I was, walking and going through different booths and seeing so many different musicians, artists, music retailers, music buyers, just everyone involved in this creative industry. Just seeing that, looking at people and the way they were dressed, I thought that was so cool, just seeing the creativity. It kind of reminded me back when I used to go to San Francisco State and how you could just see people freely expressing themselves. And then when I got...
Are you enjoying your NAMM experience?
So far, yes.
Yes.
Definitely.
I am excited but overwhelmed. This is a lot.
Very easy to be overwhelmed at this thing. I had no idea that it was this big.
Yeah.
No idea.
I think do we go here?
Yeah, we're going here, second floor, to the left.
Okay, we're headed to a music class right now. All right. See you later.
Hi, everyone. I'm Chanel J. Wilson, singer, songwriter, and author and artist. I had the blessed opportunity to attend the NAMM show conference in January in Anaheim, California. Vine Music sponsored my exhibitor badge, and artist exhibitor badge, and I am just forever grateful because I was able to be introduced to just a well of information. The way I describe my first NAMM experience is both overwhelmed and also exciting. Like, it was an overwhelming experience, but it was also an exciting experience. And I'll explain.
And I did sit down and plan what I wanted to do, but once you walk in here, you're a little overwhelmed. A little.
So it's always a beautiful experience to go to some type of conference or be in an environment where you're around your like kind, where you're around your fellow unicorns, as I like to call us, creative people. And so being in this environment around various artists, various music merchants, various distributors, seeing all the various gear, it was just like I was in a well of just a big well. It was like a great creative atmosphere. And so, when I first walked in on my first day after we got our badges, my sister was my partner there. So my sister and I were like, we were like travel buddies in the NAMM experience. We got on that first floor, and the first thing she said was, we drove all the way down here for this, because the first floor was just like one floor of guitars. And I said, we're not done. There's more. And we went up the staircases to see the rest of the exhibits, and it was like 4 more floors of just football size, almost floors of just exhibits of gear upon gear upon gear. And she and I both are like, we're really into music gear, camera gear. We are creating a multimedia company of our own. And so when we're in this type of environment, she and I both are just like, oh my God, did you see that? Did you see that? Did you see that? So for us, it was just a lot of information. And that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. But we did find ourselves on day 3 very like, oh my God, we need to just sit down and debrief. We need to sit down and process. We need to sit down and just kind of just deal with what we just saw, because you got to process once you've seen something. So that's how I would describe my experience. So we drove up on a Thursday. The plan was to drive up that morning so we could have the whole Thursday, but I was so excited that I couldn't get to sleep till like early that morning. So we left Thursday afternoon. So we missed day 1. We ended up attending the next day. So our day 1 was day 2 of NAMM. We ended up staying 30 minutes away in Downey, California, at the Embassy Suites. we did that because it was cheaper. I was able to do a GoFundMe to raise funds for our hotel accommodations and travel. In the future, what we both said we were going to do to make our experience just so that we can get the most out of our time, we're going to try to stay closer to the exhibit next time. But just for our first time, I'm glad we were able to get that hotel. So I'm not complaining, but just for survival. And I did a video on survival in this playlist. Just check and see exactly that one. And I'll explain why in more depth of why I recommend staying closer in at a NAMM experience. So for us, for our day one, even though it's day two, we met up with our team after walking through the NAMM and just seeing everything. It was just like, oh my God, wow, look at all of this. And as we met up with our team, they shared a couple of things of what they've experienced, what they saw, some of the meetings they had. It was also one of my producers' first NAMM experience as well. So we both were just like wide-eyed, like this is amazing. It's an amazing experience because both of us, we are members of ASCAP. That's our performing rights organization. So we've attended the ASCAP convention several times, and it's a lot smaller than the NAMM experience. So for us, we were going in with the mindset, well, it's going to be like ASCAP, but it's actually like 10 ASCAPs, one with more gear. So it was just a lot of information. That's the only way I can describe it. But it was beautiful. Like as you would walk through some of the exhibits and you would see certain brands that you're used to seeing, like Roland or Sony or Avid. I was going to say Digi Design, but they don't do Pro Tools anymore. Avid does Pro Tools now. You'd have bands on the floor doing shows, and you just stop and just watch them playing a particular type of guitar and demonstrating how you use that. I think for the Blue Series, for those Yeti mics, I actually have a Blue microphone. They had their own booth, and they had tons of people just performing there, and you just stand around. They'd have drum exhibits. And it's like almost like, you have the Waterhole experience where like it's a community and everybody comes. It was just one of those really great camaraderie type of things. And then you just see awesome things. Like one time I saw this really nice blue drum set and it was all nicely lit up. And I was just like, what the heck? What am I looking at? So that was our experience. The plan was to go to the special show that evening because what we were told is that at that particular show, they have a special guest they don't announce. And by the time it was time to get to that show, my sister and I were done. We were like, we need to get into bed, we need to go eat, and let's just go rest, and we'll be ready for the morning. So when we got to the hotel, one of our friends who were there texted and said, Earth, Wind & Fire just came on the stage. And we were like, oh, man. So for us, we learned a very valuable lesson. Go to the show, even if you're tired, because she and I both, we love Earth, Wind & Fire. So that would have been really cool to see, but it's okay. We were able to, see clips that people were putting up, and then we still attended the show the next day. So on day two, we were able to hit up, just some of the courses. We got some free swag at the Roland booth. The courses were actually pretty fun. Like we went to this one course where it talked about how to be an indie artist and different ways you can go about promoting your music, doing different types of shows, streaming online, doing YouTube. So that was really good. I was really grateful that we sat in on that class. We also, on that particular day, we got in line to go see Robert Glasper because he was at was it Roland or Korg? I got to look on the footage of where he was. When we got there, 2 hours before the show, and we were like, okay, there was a little line for him, so let's go get something to eat and come back because the show was starting at 5. So we got back over there, and the little line that was forming 2 hours ago was wrapped around the little Korg booth. So we ended up not being able to see Robert Glasper. We were a little sad, but we had to eat. We hadn't eaten all day, and we were like, we have to eat something. So we'll definitely make sure we check him out at another time. But what I liked was that NAMM was like that. There would be so many different sessions where it's like, oh, so-and-so is going to be at this booth, or so-and-so is going to be there, or, Herbie Hancock is at the room full of pianos on this exhibit. So there's a lot of running around from you be at the guitar place on the floor at one point, and then you run to the other side of the convention center, even leaving the building and going to another place. So it was really just a lot of moments like that, but it was still fun. Like even though, like I said, it was exciting and overwhelming at the same time. Quincy Jones was at Saturday. Jimmy Jam did the interview, and it was actually really good just hearing the information. Sinbad was standing in the in the area with everybody. And so that was kind of cool to see that. And it was just like, we were just standing, like there was no seats or anything. You just had the Avid booth, just like it's Quincy Jones. Wow. And he gave a lot of great information and nuggets from his career, talked about many, many great things like Tevin Campbell when they worked on his
player.
Absolutely.
He's named after him, John Nelson.
That's right. Yeah. I knew that. And Prince was obviously revered Jew, right? But the
He
interesting
produced 3 records for us with Tevin Campbell.
Yeah.
right. That's right. As a matter of fact, yes, there was a
Can we talk?
yes. I remember that.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, Tevin's amazing.
At 12 years old, we had a number 1 hit with him.
Yep. That's right.
Tomorrow.
It's amazing.
He's a singing fool, man. He can sing.
I know.
when they worked on his project, and he talked about how Tevin Campbell was just a really awesome singer and is still an awesome singer, and just talked about like the different albums back on the block and just some of the things he's doing in the past. And once again, it was just a really, really good experience seeing that. One of the biggest highlights for me next seeing Quincy Jones was going to see Bobby McFerrin. I have loved Bobby McFerrin since I've heard his Don't Worry, Be Happy. Don't worry, be happy. And so my sister and I were able to get to the tail end of the show. It was...
There's such a thing as losing your place in the
tail end, but just from the last 15 minutes of the show that we did see, it was amazing. It was just so beautiful, the different sounds. My sister recorded some of it, and it was just a beautiful experience to witness Bobby McFerrin performing. It was at the rally. So that was a really, really beautiful experience. And then that day we saw an M Audio experience. Where the pianist was on this, I don't even know what the name of the keyboard she was playing. It was a new type of keyboard, and we were just both intrigued by the look of it and the demonstration and the sounds. I also got to see a harpist on day one. I don't know if I talked about that. So the harp experience, that was my sister and I, we were on the guitar floor where all the stringed instruments were, and we saw this lady just, on the harp, and it was just amazing. So I was able to sit down and connect and just touch a new instrument. And so that actually piqued my interest to actually go now and learn the harp. And I can incorporate some of that in some of my performances at some point. So maybe. What I like is the vibration, and I like it. Highlight for me was also the last day on Sunday. NAMM has what's called the Idea Center, where they'll have different panelists or lecturers, and they'll do a 30-minute or an hour presentation on a particular topic. So on that Sunday, I just said, I'm going to spend my entire day right here, and I'm just going to just take it all in before I get on the road back. And from noon all the way to 4 o'clock, I just sat on various lectures pertaining to the music industry. Some topics were about streaming. Some was about how to get your music into syncing. Some was about how to write for the current society, how to expand and evolve in your work, how to be a songwriter and a successful songwriter, how to market your information on Facebook and how to use Facebook business properly, where you're not just always boosting posts, but you're actually using some of the algorithms and some of the technology available and the tools available to make you a success. And some of the people that taught have experienced a lot of success online and able to make that their full-time business. So I got a lot of great nuggets. I recorded some of that information. At some point, I will break down some of the topics that were spoken of and actually post it up, like the big nuggets that I think other people can use as well. overall, NAMM for me was amazing. I got to take a lot of pictures in front of the hashtag NAMM show, the one in the front and in the back. And I'm just forever grateful for Vine Music for setting that up. I'm also grateful to Blue Groove Productions for also setting everything up, Blue Groove Music for setting that up for me as an artist. To have that experience at NAMM, it definitely set a tone for me as a musician, as a songwriter. And like I said, for myself, this is going to be my year of refining. And I was able to take all that information that I gained and learned at NAMM and apply it this year. So hopefully at the end of the year, I'll be able to chart some of my successes with my work. I'll be able to see a little bit more revenue with my business as a result of what I learned at NAMM. And I look forward to attending NAMM again next year and the years to come. I am Chanel J. Wilson, and I will definitely be back for more in this special NAMM series. Have a good one. Goodbye. He needs some money. 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 Hey, huh.